Hello, David.
Hi, Carol. You're here for your private lesson.
Oh, no kidding. Dave's not coming today.
He's, I think he's still driving back from spending Thanksgiving with his daughter.
I had a feeling this might be a rough day for for the other two guys.
Well, at the moment, Bill he's still with us by virtue of the video, but he's not even attending the classes at the moment online. But he said he wants to still be part of the class and get the videos. So
Do you see him at all? Or?
I see him on Tuesdays for the senior class that he's a part of.
Okay.
And he's actually improving.
Good.
Fairly well. But
Well, when you see him tomorrow, let him know that I was asking about him for him.
I will.
Yeah. I know he had a rough time with his surgeries and.
Well, did you know about his almost bleeding to death?
No, I mean, I know the last I heard was when he told us about his hernia.
Well, they were doing a special installation of some kind of device that broadcasts daily his condition to somewhere. And somebody misread his file that he was on a blood thinner. And the normal procedure is apparently such a minor thing that usually they take stitches out literally 2 hours after they do it.
Wow.
Well, the only thing is that if you're on blood thinner, the blood starts flowing.
Sure it does. Oh my God.
And they apparently didn't see that immediately, but unfortunately for him, a nurse, male nurse, I understand, going by, not that makes a difference, noticed and walked over, seeing what it was, put his fist on it
Just to
to stop it, and held it till they could get the doctor and a team there. But apparently it was fairly close.
Boy.
So it took him a couple of weeks to recover from that. Last Tuesday, he was on his feet for about half the class.
Well, it's not just the trauma from the surgery, but the blood loss alone takes so long to get your blood volume back up.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, how scary.
Yeah, it was. I guess it was really.
Well, I'm glad he felt well enough to show up to class though, and that you could see him and know he's doing okay. And
he's a very dear friend. I just
Yeah, it's whew.
Anyway.
It was fun when he was in class. When the whole crew was here. Yeah, it was a good group. Good group.
Did you read the book The Wonder?
Yes, I did. I did.
Do you know there's a movie out?
I just saw that. I saw that, and sometimes I have reservations about it because the book was so good, and sometimes and the movie takes a Hollywood license sometimes, and it was, but I'll watch it just because I enjoyed the book so much. But a book recommendation that I just finished, David. I don't know if you ever read Jamie Ford's Hotel on the Corner of Bitter and Sweet.
No.
Jamie Ford is he's a Chinese descendant, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and he really writes about the Chinese culture, especially, which surprises me, from the women's point of view, Chinese women and the oppression that they suffer.
Yeah.
Well, his latest one, The Many Daughters of Afong Moy, I mean, that was just an unbelievable novel. So Jamie Ford, if you look him up, you know, you'll see his novels.
Wow, that sounds really interesting.
It follows the generations of this woman who was with bound feet, sent to the United States by a very malicious mother-in-law.
Mhm.
And I didn't realize back then, but the law back then was that if you left China and a woman and you returned, you would be executed for leaving China. So she couldn't go back. And it follows the generation. So it's in the voice of each of the generations of the
Ooh,
women that
yeah.
follow. Oh gosh, it was great. It was really depressing, like going all the way through, but not at the end. And that's all I'll tell you about it.
Okay.
I don't want to. I don't want to give it away, but that was a good one.
So I'll just say that we've seen the movie of The Wonder,
You have.
and actually I would recommend seeing it.
It's okay. So it stays true to the storyline pretty well.
Pretty much.
Okay.
And some really, I can't say her name, but the actress who does the nurse does an excellent job. And actually the young person who plays Anna does very well too.
Oh my gosh.
So,
I believe it's Netflix. It was on Netflix.
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Of all places.
I know. I saw that come up on Netflix, and I said, oh, can that possibly be the book that I read? It is.
It
Good.
is.
Good.
Yeah, that book, when I read it, I just blew me away.
Yeah. I know. It's quite a commentary on the Catholic religion, isn't it? Speaking from
Yes.
someone who went through like 8 years of Catholic school. Oh yeah. So it's
I have only known people who've gone through Catholic school. I didn't suffer that myself.
no. It's an experience. It's definitely a whole different culture.
Oh,
It really is. It really is. But that's what it is, and so that's why the book was even
yeah.
more fascinating for me. Because,
Sure.
oh my gosh,
Oh,
I
wow.
could see how that could happen.
Oh, yeah.
I really understood how that could happen. So.
Oh.
I will definitely look at. I'll put that on my watch list then for Netflix. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know whether I had told you, but Bill Bynum alerted me that there was a setting on Zoom called Original Sound, and I finally figured it out thanks to Google. And it actually makes it possible to really hear the Ting Shaw on Zoom.
Okay. Because you're right. I don't. So is it something you do on your end, or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So if I tune in, I should hear it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, questions, issues, problems, successes?
You know, it's coming along. I'm very happy with the progression, but I practice every day, David. Even I find that for me it works. I don't have large chunks of time to practice, so I get in 20 to 30 minutes a day, and that seems to be working for me.
Sure,
And
that's fine.
um, and because of that, I'm finally just letting what happens happen and not driving myself to certain goals. And I'm feeling the the energy. Especially I can really concentrate on it when I do the standing practice.
Mm-hmm.
The yin and
Absolutely.
the yang, and so right now I'm at the point where I'm really definitely feeling it in upper body, and I know that it will come because that's how I learn. That's how I with all the practices that I've done with you, I know that it comes and it's always the last to come. It moves as I practice. So I'm not discouraged. I know it'll come,
Good.
but it's always progression moves along at a very slow pace for me. But I just keep at it.
I recently was doing a lesson in the meditation class, in which I was really trying to explain the kind of the difference between Buddhist and Taoist sort of basic concept. And the Buddhists place tremendous emphasis on love and compassion. And it's constantly repeated in everything they do. But in Taoism, the basic principle is loving balance, which includes love and compassion, but also, importantly, forgiveness, not only for others, but particularly for yourself. And I really like that because I think it's important to continuously forgive yourself for not being perfect and for not necessarily making the advance that you think you ought to, which is ridiculous, but nonetheless we do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so thinking about things, it sounds to me as if you're beginning to work that way or have been working that way.
Becoming more of an observer than a performer.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the shift I've noticed in the past couple of years. It would just okay, so what's happening today? Just observe it and work with that. But,
Good.
Yeah, and that takes a lot of the pressure off practice too. It's like
Absolutely.
Yes, it does. Oh God.
Because if you have the feeling that you're going to be punished in practice, who wants to do that?
Yeah. And the punishment is often just not reaching that goal,
Yeah.
just, I can't do this today. And so where that would really frustrate me in the past, now it's just, okay, well, this is where I'm at today.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I think it helps me to practice every day because I know I'm going to get back to it tomorrow. And I don't
Absolutely.
overdo it with huge chunk because sometimes after 20 minutes I've had enough. It's just I know I've had enough. But if not, then I just keep going.
And it's important to be responsive that way to what you feel.
Yeah.
Because absolutely, I mean, years ago when I was younger, but I can remember practicing for 2 hours. But I couldn't do that now.
No.
I think about it sometimes and think, oh, that was wonderful when I could do that, but I can't do that now. So that's all right.
Yeah.
That's where I am at the moment. So, yeah, that's good. That's good. So, specifically in this 8 Gates world, anything?
No, I'm I'm really doubling on the practice with when I go through the form, I always start with the right hand side,
Mm-hmm.
and then just do twice as many, repetitions with the left, but sometimes 3 times as many, depending how I feel that day. And it's really, where before it felt so awkward. It's starting to feel natural now, where I'm not having to think, okay, my right hand does this and my left hand, where it just falls into that.
Yes.
And as a matter of fact, the other day I was practicing and I had to stop in the middle because I said, wait a minute, this doesn't feel right. So I went back and did it on the right hand side and picked up that I was using the wrong hand again. So practice that several times. But I'm starting to feel the difference now. Because even when I do the single arm and the double arm as a prep, I always do both sides, from the right, from the left. It just
Good.
really helps me to get into that mindset, and I think for my brain, which we can all use at this point.
Good. Okay.
Now that's not saying that the movements look that great, David, but it's just I'm at a point where I know what I want them to do, and I'm letting my body get there in its own way.
Good. Good. So let's do the standing, and I think it's really important to be continuously aware in the standing and everything else, but the standing is pretty developing. The connection between the elbow and the scapula, really feeling that movement and not ideally ever letting it get lost, which takes a bit of really constructive thinking and feeling in order to maintain that.
And so the movement generates from the scapula rather than from the hands and the arms.
Absolutely. It actually generates from the spine, but you have to have that connection between the elbow and the scapula in order to get to the spine.
I can feel the movement generating from the scapula, not quite the spine yet.
Mm-hmm.
But at least I'm trying to concentrate on that when I'm doing the movements rather than putting your hands to the movement.
That's really good. That's important to make that step. I mean, we have to start out with where are our hands going, but there needs to be a point where you stop thinking about that and focus on another element. And you'll make that connection to the spine.
So by making that connection, that's where the movement should start. The generation of the movement should start from the spine.
The generation of the movement of the energy starts from the spine. Well, it doesn't start from the spine, but that's where it comes from as it goes to the earth.
Right, because I guess because the spine doesn't move, it's really hard to make that connection at the beginning. At least in the scapula, I can feel that.
Yeah.
And so okay, I'm definitely not there yet.
You're doing fine.
Okay.
Good. So let's do that.
Okay.
Stepping out. Just taking a moment to stand. Allow yourself to center and connect. Feel the earth beneath your feet. And your weight centered into the middle of both feet. breathing down to the dantian. Even more fully into longevity breathing, whatever parts of that you have. Getting that sense of the head lifting off the top of the spine. And releasing as much tension as you can. Really allowing the energy to sink through your body. Releasing the energy the body cannot use into the earth. And then extending your mind through your body and beginning to feel the flows of the energy in your body as you go into the beginning. So bending and twisting in, extending and twisting out, and continuing right into the pulsing. But that looked very good.
You know what, I was doing a different sequence at home. I think I was doing the old sequence.
You were doing, no, I went back to the old sequence today. This is the first sequence.
Okay,
We usually do the second one, which is the sequence that the postures appear in the form.
okay.
So you could do either one,
Either one is, okay, yeah, okay.
actually.
But that felt good today. So,
It did. It looked good.
yeah, yeah.
So the thing now to think about, I think, particularly because it looks to me like what you're doing in the upper body is quite good, and I think that will continue to grow. So just as we are trying to make that connection from the spine to the fingertips energetically, we want to make the connection from the toes to the spine also. And so that's perhaps much more difficult in some ways than the arms, but it goes exactly in coordination. And one of the things that really helps that is really getting the twisting and the soft tissue of the legs to work with the twisting that you're doing in the arms. And I don't know to what extent you.
That's harder to do.
It is
It
hard.
is, yeah, the twisting in the legs is more intent, I think, right now, because it's, you just don't get that really, where you can actually physically twist it, all that happen internally. So that's a
Yeah.
much more subtle twist.
And you are doing the bending and extending of the legs. I can see that happening. So that's good. But the twisting in the legs is really helpful.
So through the movement, when you're, how do you coordinate that with, because quite honestly, my concentration is quite a bit on my upper body.
Oh, absolutely. That's where we begin.
So when you go through the movement, you're pulling the energy in. What's happening with the feet and the spine?
So when we begin to think about this way, we're really talking about connecting the 5 extremities. So the feet, the hands, and the crown of the head. And our ideal is when we feel the energy, for instance, let's do this because that's where my arms went. The energy is coming in from the feet through the legs to the spine. It's coming in through the arms and the scapula to the spine. It's going, at this point, down from the crown of the head, all of them going to the dantian. And then as you extend, it's going back in the other direction.
So it's going out, but then it's also going out.
Yes.
Okay. That's how I was thinking of it in the reverse, that it's all going in the same direction.
It also does that.
Okay.
However,
But that's harder to visualize to me than what you just, it just,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To get it to go that far, and maybe that's.
Well, and you haven't worked on the marriage of heaven and earth, have you? Okay. So that's where we really work on that flow from one to the other. And this one too, but we'll let go of that. But what this is pointing out is there are multiple flows happening in the body simultaneously all the time. And we focus at different times on different flows or different parts of the flow. So, but this one, center to periphery and back to center, is one of the most important ones that we work on. We want that connection clear through the body at the same time, but we also really want the one where we're coming in and going out.
Okay.
And
Sort of like Dragon Tiger, you know, with the, just, yeah.
so what we're talking about now is where you can go with Dragon and Tiger. Because we sort of indicate that in a more superficial way, but now you can be really internal about it. So, good. So, do you have any single arm questions? Okay, because I want to work on the double arm today.
Okay.
Just happens to be where I am.
Okay, no, that's fine.
So let's do a little together. And you say you also work on the left side.
I do both every day.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And how do you find the transition between right and left?
Well, I don't go back and forth. I do, you know, one way like on the right, and then when I come back, I do it on the left. So I don't go back and forth.
So let me confuse you a little and look at. So we'll start by we'll do the right ones, and then when we get to the end of the right, I'm going to sort of pause and just explain what we do to go to the left. Very easy.
Rather than stop, because what I do is then I just stop and I start over again.
Yeah, and then you can do that. That's perfectly fine. I'm not saying you shouldn't do that, but just as we worked on the transition from right to left in the form, we do the same thing with the double arm, so that you can do it if you choose.
Well, it would help to keep the practice continuous instead of having that break in the middle.
Very good. You're absolutely right. Step out. Right. Eight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and pause. Now, if you're going to go to the left, then you would immediately, as you rotate right, shift back with it, so that you go 7, 8, and you're ready to go right in.
So you're at, all right, you're at 8.
Yep.
And say that again. So I'm here,
There you go.
and
So
I'm ready to go into your 1, 2. So
normally we do this,
Right.
1, 2,
2, right?
right?
Okay.
So now instead of that, we're going to do 1, 2.
2.
If you, I say transition, but you can say 1, 2.
So that's it. Just
It's just a 2
so
count.
it's just to get back here, and then and then you go. Then you're going right to your left.
But you don't do that. So what you did was this.
Okay, you don't do that.
Oh, it's a 2 step. It's not a 1. That was a 1.
That's a 1 step. Okay.
It's a 1.
Right.
So you let yourself have 1, 2. And that second 2 is where you turn the left foot forward.
Okay. I was going to say that if I was going to ask if you did that, because boy, it really torques your knee if you don't turn that.
Do not torque your knee.
No. So we're up here.
Yeah.
So it's 7.
But the arms are moving.
Okay. The arms, but they don't go all the way.
They go halfway down.
halfway down. So tran. But do you move on your toe or your heel?
Yeah.
Okay. 8. So it's
So make it a circle. Make it
Yeah.
a sphere.
I'm trying to get my feet to do what they what they need to
I
do.
know.
Okay.
It's changing the pace that is the thing that throws you off, because I've gone up here 7, 8,
Yeah.
1, 2.
Okay. So just to get the foot movement, it's 1, 2.
Yeah.
Take that in. So you're here. 1, 2. That feels a lot better. Now, if I can coordinate my, so we're at, so it's 1, 2.
Yeah, you start this okay, but then you make it an S curve. It's not an S curve.
You have
It's
to
a
go.
sphere.
Oh,
Yes.
Okay. But turned. But the
And then-
hands have to turn.
But when they get, but when you get here, they do this.
So they
Boom.
oh here. Okay.
Yeah.
So the hands come here. Wow, that's hard to do the circle. No. Again. So here they turn
Turn.
to
Yes.
finish the circle.
Yep.
Okay. To the circle. That's a different move.
It is.
Yeah, than I've done before. So.
Yep.
Okay. So 2 new things to do at once. All right, but they're not hard. So okay. So we're
So if we're at 7, 8, 1, 2, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 8, and right on.
so.
Or you could transition back to the right.
Now, to go back and forth, that's a bit much, but
Yeah,
I'm sure there's a way, so,
it'd be just the same. But at the moment, what I would suggest is you do a given number of right and then transition and do a
the
given number
number
of left.
left. Okay,
Yes.
I was gonna say, that would probably be the best way to do it, but now.
Eventually, yes, you should be able to do right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left.
So, what does it, so that's transitioning from the right to the left?
Yeah.
So how do you transition from the left back to the right? Is there a different transition, or is it just?
7, 8, 1.
Oh, it's, okay. So same thing in reverse.
Same thing. You're
I think I'm gonna stick with one transition for now, David, until.
I would suggest just doing one transition for now.
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
So, would you flow
Uh,
a little?
form or?
No, this.
Oh, okay, so do the, with the transition? Or,
If you feel up to it, yeah.
oh, wait a minute, I missed the transition, didn't
You did, you did 7, 8. Oh, yeah.
I? Yeah, okay, so let me, so,
Start again. Yeah. It's fine.
so do you want me to transition after one,
After you've done the whole thing.
like one complete rotation on the right side, then transition into the left?
Yeah, but a complete rotation is twice through.
Oh, okay, going twice through, so 2 times on the right, then you transition through?
One time is
Oh, I see what you're saying, yeah, because you have to do both sides on the right,
yeah.
and both sides on the left, I get it, okay,
Yeah. Now you would do the transition
to the left,
to the left.
okay.
That's the confusing part in a way.
No, I get what you mean, for the whole rotation.
Yeah, you do the complete right side practice.
Okay, from here, this is it, right?
Yep.
I didn't do the circle.
Right.
That's
Good.
That's gonna take some practice, David, to coordinate that.
I know. That's fine. You don't have to do it over and over.
No, I just,
Now, just for a moment, pause though and look at your feet.
well, I have to get it straight.
And you're too narrow. So the other thing you have to think about is where we're going to put that foot when you put it back.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I think I ended where I needed to be on the
You
other
did.
side.
You did.
So
But
when I bring this one back, I think I have to keep my stance wide enough. It was,
yeah, and the other thing about it is that when you do that is that you have to rotate the leg in slightly because you don't want to put it up there.
right, okay, so,
It has to get into its appropriate position here, and then this turns, and then you're into your movement.
so this leg though is not straight, this leg,
No.
no, because that's,
No,
so,
you want to be in an appropriate both hands.
no. You're right, I do need to widen my stance on that. Basically, here.
Good.
I think I might have to practice that
Sure.
separately, you know what I mean, to,
I do.
yeah, to coordinate that a little
No,
bit.
I just wanted to make sure that I'd gone over the details with you so you could.
Yeah,
But you're doing fine. The one thing is you're having trouble with that first 7/8. So when you get here, notice that you turn left, but you do not shift forward.
for the first one.
Do shift forward and turn right for this one.
For 8. Okay, and
then you were fine.
okay,
You just
so you stay on that back foot for
Yeah.
7, and then shift on 8.
because this is the one thing that helped me in learning this, because this was a change, is that this is the energy of cow, shoulder stroke or bump. It's not just shoulder, it's the body bumping. So you're doing that. you're getting ready. You're getting. I can't. You're getting ready to do this.
So there is a slight right turn though when you're
You're constantly turning, yes.
that's, and that seems to give you a little more energy.
Yes.
Into that.
Absolutely. Absolutely, because that helps. What that does is it helps you drop the energy into your feet so that you can go forward moving.
That makes sense.
Good. You're doing very well, Carol.
I like the double arm. That's just flows very.
Well, it is, yes.
I'm wearing a mask, so it makes my nose drippy.
Oh.
Sorry.
I can understand. Sorry about the noise.
Oh, no, I've tuned that out. Ray
Yeah.
has a workshop in the basement where he does woodworking, so I'm listening to power tools all day. This is so minor compared to what I hear.
I said, okay. Oh, good. Okay. So other questions on this?
No, no, but I've got something new now to incorporate with the transition. Can we just do the transition one more time? So I can see, so it's on the tape, so we can see it on the video.
Yes, certainly. I will be glad to. You want me to do it facing the camera, just for a different
No,
angle?
actually, I think it shows better on.
Okay. No, I just asking. Again. One, two, three, four, six, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
that's good, thank you. But I think I'm gonna follow your advice and do one whole set of right transition and then a set of left before I before I try the other side.
Well, yeah, it can be a little much to go right, left, right, left, right, left.
Yeah.
But it's a great practice because, boy, you've got to stay in the present moment or you're lost.
It's just great for your brain too, to really.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even when I do both sides, I don't alternate, it's one side and the other, so I go like the length of my conversation with one side and.
When we learned all of this at the Tai Chi Farm show, he would take us, sometimes we do it in the main building, but often he would take us outside on the driveway, gravel driveway, and we would do, 100 yards of this. And it's great practice here, and even if you can do, when you've got that kind of length, you can do 6 on one side and then 6 on the other. So it's
Going in one direction.
going in one
Yeah,
direction.
that's
Hard to do in most of our houses.
yeah. What's happening is I may do 6 on one side, but then I have to turn around to do,
Yeah.
unless I want to go in a circle,
You can do that too.
Yeah, sure. Or my driveway. I want my neighbors looking at me a little strangely. But...
Oh, you have to learn not to worry
Oh,
about
that. I know.
I do classes frequently out in the driveway or in the parking area out here in the summer, and our neighbors drive by and they look and what are they doing? Oh well. So, form.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna let you just do it.
Okay. Wait, both sides? What do you want me to do with the form? Just the right side or the left?
I'm gonna do both.
Okay. All right, this one, I don't know if I have the transition.
Oh, well, if you don't, then we'll work on that.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Well, it's coming. There are a few things we could look at, but
But what, I know you showed us how to transition from,
we did.
yeah, you did.
And basically, it's the same
It's the same thing.
thing.
And it just went out of my head and I have been doing it.
Oh,
Yay, oh wow.
It's not a huge deal.
Okay.
So we go into ward off right, lower. Now, when you go here, remember you push down, but you're pushing the elbows out. Push down, and then the tricky one is as the hands turn, the elbows are coming back in and then out. And then shift forward, embrace the moon, turn and step, and shift. And it's often really helpful if you do a twist step here with the right foot.
Okay. Here?
The right.
Oh, the right.
So you shift and then you pick up the right toe so that you turn the foot as you're turning the arms.
Okay. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then as you shift forward, the arms just separate. Reset the right foot and keep the hands kind of in the center of the body. And then step forward. And then as you rotate and shift forward, they expand out a little. Just hold that for a moment.
So
Yeah,
that-
I would.
So this is where that's the bump.
Yeah.
That's the bump.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would bring this up just a little. Yeah, good. That's good. Great. Okay. And then you shift forward, rotate back, and you should be, yes, good. You're facing straight ahead, and then up, come down through the S curve, and then step to the corner. Good. Shift. Rotate and step. And 7 and 8. Now, if you were doing the transition, it's just like the other one in that you step back and you rotate the arms and legs.
Oh, okay.
And then you're ready to go into, oh, ward off left.
Ward off
Ward
left. Okay. That actually feels easier in the form than it does in the double arm to do that transition.
It's virtually identical, but
Yeah, but I think just the posture that I'm in at the end of the form
yeah.
just feels a little bit more comfortable going into that. Okay.
Try it again.
So try that the right side again with those.
Yeah.
Let me get it's the elbows that I have to, okay, so they start in the elbow. So the press, the elbows are in or out?
They go out as the arms go down.
Down, and then go in and out.
Good.
Okay. Let me do that one again, David, just
Sure.
to get that in my head.
That's a tough movement. I really suggest practicing it extremely slowly, and then you can gradually speed it up.
It's just, and I've done it in isolation, but I think I was not practicing it correctly. So what was?
The other thing I was going to say is when you're doing this, you want to get the hands top and bottom, but they are in front of the body, not over here.
Okay. So you have to turn your body then, right?
Ah, yeah.
So here we go.
Turn.
Okay.
Yeah, and then turn back.
Okay, then there. It's
In, out, in, out.
out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
All right. So let me do that again. Bring this one up a little bit. Is that good?
Well, you know, actually, as you do that, oh, that's the wrong thing, David. No, it isn't. Notice that your hands and arms actually are in position by this point.
Okay.
So they don't go upper. What they really are doing is going out. So your scapula are going out. Your elbows are going out. It's not so much the hands.
Right.
Yeah.
I think definitely if you generate the movement from the scapula,
Yep.
it just happens organically. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Good for you.
Okay. Okay, from there.
Uh-huh.
Do you want me to go into the left?
No, that's okay. We've probably done enough.
Yeah. But just from here then, so the left would be same thing. How do you, so, and then,
But keeping the circle,
yeah, but,
keep the sphere. Think of it as a sphere.
so it's exactly the same as you said. So I'm ending here.
Mm-hmm.
So to go left, oh, that's like 7, 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
7.
This is where it's hard for me to turn my hands here.
You know what the
Oh God.
what
It feels like I want to do this. You know, just,
so one of the things to think about is having the elbows reverse their direction, because they have gone here and now the elbows go out.
okay, you know what? That's easier when the elbows, wait, the movement is coming again from the elbows and not the
Yep.
hands. Yeah. Okay.
Almost always.
Yeah. And probably not even the elbows, but the scapula.
Yeah.
Yeah, that, okay, that makes the movement a lot easier than trying to just make my hands turn.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that works. But with that one too, David, I'm going to do one transition.
It's fine.
In the line of
Believe me, it's fine.
Oh, yeah,
I won't ask you to do one back and forth.
that's great. No, those are great. And they're on video, so I can go back and do them again. Thank you.
And really, I'm so glad we had this today. I could really see you because you're doing very well.
Thank you. Yeah.
The practice is showing.
Yeah, it's as I said, they're not large chunks of practice. I just don't have that time in my schedule, but it's every day. It's
Consistency.
That's it. I find works better for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, David. This was great. Yeah.
And Jamie Ford.
Jamie Ford, The Many Daughters of Beifang Moy. I
And
can
the
send
other
it
one
to you.
sounds good too.
Oh, Hotel on the Corner of Bitter and Sweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
He writes a lot about the Chinese culture because, of course, that's his history.
Yeah.
And just fascinating and wonderful writer. You know, just and it's funny because until I read the biography, I thought Jamie Fong was a woman because the viewpoint is so spot on from a woman's point of view, and it's not. He's a male, and I wow, he really captures it.
Good for him.
Yeah, he really captures it, but does tremendous research. It's historical fiction, basically, which is my favorite genre. So.
Well, that's Jane's too. So I think she'll appreciate this recommendation too.
Yeah, I think she would enjoy it. It's if she likes that. All right, David, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, this
Great
was great.
class.
It was a great class. It's it's nice to get those 2 notes every now and then that you just can't get online. You just can't get that on
Just
Zoom.
no.
So
I do my best, but
It's no, I mean, I can see you on Zoom because I'm able to project you onto a 50-inch TV.
yeah,
So I see you, but you don't really see me, you know, the way,
not the way I do here, no. No.
yeah. And you don't get that energy
Yeah,
that you get in
absolutely.
well, say hello to Bill for me, and hopefully I'll see Dave next time.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
He'll be back recuperated from Thanksgiving.
It's quite a drive, I guess. He's over in Pennsylvania somewhere.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Well, I have a feeling this is a lot for people, a travel day,
Oh, yeah.
you know, from Thanksgiving, so.
Yep.
Yeah, it's,
Well, Bill Nagel was here this morning for class, and he said he just had a knee replacement a couple of months ago, and he says his knee was bothering him because he was on his feet so much because he was cooking all week for 20 people.
but I'm gonna tell you something, David, cooking for 20 or cooking for 5, it's the same thing, because you still have the variety, you still have the dishes, it's just more is in each crock pot or whatever.
That's right.
It's still a lot of work. You know, I know I was telling Ray, I said, how about lasagna from Pasta Vita next year?
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God.
Absolutely.
You just get to a point where the point is the visit. And I said,
Absolutely.
no. I said, we're so busy cooking and cleaning that we you know, we had my mom and Jesse and his girlfriend over. I said, you know, the time that we could be spending visiting with them, you know, we're cooking and serving.
Yeah.
And then the cleanup after, which the kids help with, but still, we're busy, you know.
Yeah.
You know, Ray had the fireplace going. I said it would have been nice just to sit down with our tea after and just enjoy each other's company. And
You know, Pasta Vita does a really good Thanksgiving dinner.
I know, and I said that's another option. It's just let's go back to what the purpose of it is, and just getting together with the family, and not all the other, you know, it's.
Unfortunately, Pasta Vita's things now have too much salt for me, but.
Oh, you know what? Now my mom too. We have to cook everything with no salt for my mom, so that would be a consideration.
Well, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's good to know because she definitely watches her salt intake. So
Yeah. I mean, I could do low salt, but their things are just.
they don't do low salt options. I mean, even taking her grocery shopping, trying to find low salt options of anything, it's just difficult. So
Yes, it is.
I said, you know, they have aisles of gluten free. I said they need to start putting aisles of no salt or low salt. It's just because I'm sure, you know, I have her genes. I'll be following in her footsteps.
There will be a time.
There will be a time. David, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And I will. I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Great.
Would you like me to send you the name of that book, or are you okay with it?
I think I'll be okay with it.
Just look up Jamie Ford.
If I can't remember it, I'll write you.
Yeah, just shoot me a text. Okay. All right, David. Sounds good.
Take care.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye.